Yeah, it's gonna be a brutal showdown. Okay, when Ryoko looks up, the morning sun is already streaming in through the window. Why are we at Ryoko? Tired from hours of poring over files, she removes her glasses and massages her aching eyes. Her dreams are always filled with horror, yet the night she just spent was more nightmarish than them all. Ryoko's perseverance has paid off, for she has already succeeded in restoring several volumes of Ogai's diary. As she reads them, she feels despair draining her spirit, as it has so many times before. All that remains is to wait for the day when insanity will crush your reason under its ever-mounting weight. Uh-oh. I have succeeded in communicating with the organism. It shows enormous curiosity, and its intelligence is beyond doubt. See research notes for confirmed vocal patterns and body language. Okay, so he's talking about saying, okay, here we go, so finally some answers. Its appetite for knowledge is insatiable, and its learning speed is off the charts. However, it exhibits absolutely no desire to recognize as an individual. Its ego appears to be quite weak, suggesting that a psyche wholly unlike that of a human. The speed of the organism's logistic development is astounding. When I laughed at its mispunctuations, it immediately picked up the concept of puns. Ever since, it has been employing its entire vocabulary in an attempt to find puns that will make me laugh. Perhaps in a few days' time, it will have learned enough language for us to communicate freely. The organism's command of spoken language is now sufficient to facilitate higher level disclosure. But although it has regaled me with questions all day, it remains unable to answer any of mine. The replies suggest that it gained awareness only after materializing in this universe. It has no knowledge of where it came from. So, was it like from a different dimension or something, or was she created? While I am disappointed, the fact that it has reached this level of intelligence only 1 week after starting to think tells me that there is no end to what I can learn from it. Hypothesis. It is not a naturally occurring organism, but was created by an even more sophisticated sentient life form. What? This would explain why it has no ego yet possesses such a hunger for knowledge. It might be some sort of reconnaissance drone that was sent here from another world. So, say is an alien, or something like that. Okay, interesting. I have confirmed that the organism's brain power far surpasses any humans. This morning, I taught it about prime numbers. After I explained the Lucas-Lemmer test for the Mercening primes, it immediately began to list examples that it had calculated in its head. I was only able to confirm by memory up to the number 10M89, but it continued to list further examples without any trouble. I left it to its calculations, and when I returned a few hours later, I discovered that it had written down more than 70 of them. Computers all over the world are currently working to calculate Mercening primes, but the last one I remembered being found was the 39th, back in 2001. Oh wow. When I entered several of the results into my laptop and ran the Lucas-Lemmer test on them, I found that everyone was correct. The same is no doubt true for the rest. After all, the organism has never shown the pathological need for respect that would lead it to lie about its accomplishments. I see no reason to doubt its veracity. If I could reveal to the world an expedient method of discovering Mercening primes, the prize money would make me a billionaire. Of course, my current research is worth far more than any sum of money. I must keep it a secret. The organism's computation speed exceeds that of even the most powerful supercomputers. I can only conclude that its cognitive fallacies are beyond anything humanity can imagine. At the organism's request, we have begun a new field of study. Despite its immeasurable aptitude for mathematics, it now desires to concentrate on sociology and natural sciences. Perhaps our math problems are simply too elementary for it. It has shown especially keen interest in the means of which organisms reproduce and multiply, as it possesses nothing that could be called emotion. I hesitate to use this description, but when it learned about DNA, it seemed somehow excited. In fact, the organism itself seemed surprised by its reaction. When asked about the nature of the impulse, the organism decided to label it instinct. If this description is indeed accurate, then this is an extremely significant development. It would mean that there is a deeper level to its side than just the knowledge it has acquired since coming to this world. If I can use this discovery to trace its roots, I might be able to learn what it truly is. Okay, I hope he finds out, because I want to know too. Note, candidates for the plane and world of the organism's origin are discussed in my writings on the silver key, filed separately. The organism has made a very strange request. This is the first time it has asked for anything other than food and reading materials. I can hardly believe it, but it wants to consume the sperm of living creatures. Okay. This is separate from its desires for food. Once again, it is describing this impulsive as instinctive. Huh. Now that it has declared itself a life form that requires the seed of males, it has begun to identify itself as female. After today, I suppose I shall have to start calling the organism a she. Is the personality that she has begun to exhibit really just an imitation created of her amusement? Ever since she has started to immerse herself in our literation, she has begun acting astonishingly human. She identifies herself as female, and already possesses an enormous store of cultural knowledge. Is she trying to create a human identity for herself based on these? I have seen her laugh, grow angry, and today she cried. Is she just copying our emotional displays? If not, then she is already. Is the soul something that any intelligent life form can acquire? I feel that I am witnessing something more mysterious than the genesis of life itself. Today is her birthday. Although it's a year late, I want to give her a special gift. Seiya was the name of my mother's cat. In childhood, she was my sole friend and my beloved. I decided long ago that if I were ever blessed with children, I would give this name to my daughter. Happy birthday, Seiya. Let this be the name of your soul. You have earned it. The ability that Seiya has discovered in herself is showing more extraordinary results each day. I have no doubt that she is a kind of artist. What exactly is that she created in her body form that rat semen I gave her? From the rat semen, what? At this point, I can only surmise that it is a type of retrovirus, a reverse transcriptized enzyme that creates exactly what she desires. The rats have been transformed by her arts are so very beautiful now. The many enzymes secreted by her body and the various appendages she uses are discussed in detail in my biological observation filed separately. Here I will say this. By witnessing Seiya perform her operations on several rats, I have gained much confidence in my theory that her body is designed specifically to manipulate the biology of other organisms. Huh. She looks at her watch and sees that it is already 7 in the morning. Assuming Tono Koji made no stops, he should be arriving in Tokyo about now. Now that it's too late, she wishes that she'd stopped that stubborn fool from leaving, even if she hadn't had to shoot him in the leg to do it. Uh-oh. Wow, so she wanted to stop him. Okay, this is getting interesting. Koji pulls up 2 blocks away from the Sekisuga house and stares at the silent building. In the bright light of morning, the house seems shrouded in the dark Maisama. Huh. In a black hole torn out of the landscape. Oh, is it just a figment of Koji's imagination? Every window is closed, offering no glimpse of the inside. Koji has no way of knowing whether Fuminori is home. A pedestrian walks his dog down the street, glancing back at Koji through the windshield after he passes by. Koji is surprised by the attention. He hasn't bathed or changed clothes since spending the night buried in mud, so he must look like a vagrant even inside his car. Koji walks swiftly through the gate and yard to the front door. He puts his hand on the doorknob, foregoing the bell. This time for such a pleasantries has passed. The door is unlocked and the knob turns easily in his hand. He puts his ear to the door and listens for any sign of life. He is acting like a thief. He realizes with some shame, but that is the least of his worries now. No sound from within. After checking the street again to make sure no one is looking, he quickly opens the door and disappears inside. Why is he going inside? Man. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Huh. Koji passes through the living room and opens the sliding door that leads to the kitchen. When he enters, he finds that the most disturbing of the house's many stenches is strongest here. Oh, don't open the fridge. Blood. The room is redolent with the smell of countless layers of blood grown stale over time. He peers into the well-used sink. Around the rim, he sees faint brownish blotches the water alone could not rinse off. Even more obvious are the stains on the dish rag. Such stains are proof that the rag has been used and reused countless times. But what could it have been used to make it that sickening burgundy color? Koji stares at the refrigerator next to the counter as though it were a monster waiting to swallow him whole. He stands motionless until he is able to work up the courage to simply touch it. Oh, don't open it. Then he steels himself, grabs the thick handle, and opens the door. First, he'll check the freezer, then the refrigerator. The freezer is packed with frozen meat of various shaping and sizes, and each piece is wrapped tightly in frost-over plastic. He can't tell what kind of meat it is. Uh-oh. The meat in the refrigerator, however, has already been thawed for consumption. Oh, no. For a while, he can only stare in disbelief at the 5 fingers beckoning to him from the back of the compartment. They are the long, slender fingers of a woman, their blush tinged, giving them the appearance of waxworks. Koji is unable to remember what Omi's hands look like, even though he had kissed her fingers countless times. When he finished crying after his conversation with Fuminori, Koji promised himself that he would not cry again, and in fact he does not. He regrets his decision, however. He indulged himself too early. He should have saved his soothing tears for this moment. For now, he knows that truly nothing is sacred. At last, he doubts about Fuminori have been utterly obliterated. Koji pulls Ogai's revolver out of his pocket and wraps his hands around its grip like he would charm. Its definite presence, its promise of merciful annihilation, is the only thing keeping his sanity intact. Oof, he will surely use it to kill Sakisuga Fuminori. Not for revenge, not for justice, but to make this world once more a place governed by reason. For that purpose alone, he must eliminate the anomaly. He breathes deep, exhales, then lifts his hand before his face and stares at his spread fingers. Alright, he's not shaking. He's prepared to face his new objective. Koji sticks the revolver back into his pocket and pulls out his phone.
Yo, I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. Though it might be nice to own a jet plane, I'ma do it all for you. Come along and see it's true.